Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mel. I'm Mel, the host of this channel, and it has been so long. I've been away on vacation, I've been away on work trips, I've just been ultra busy, but I'm back with another video in due time for a new summer anime 2023. And here's the kicker, normally summers tend to be a little bit slow in the anime verse or in the anime industry, but this summer it seems to be pretty action-packed, so you know what? It looks like we're not going outside, folks. So since we're going to be staying inside this summer, let's list some anime that it's well worth your time, because there's an anime that's coming out this summer that you should probably not stay indoors for. Go outside. Of the returning anime that's coming back this summer with some new seasons, we've got Bungo Stray Dogs with Season 5. Bungo Stray Dogs kind of is picking up right where they left off, where the armed detective agency is still trying to prove their innocence. We discover via the trailers that Kunikida is still alive, and there's some indication that he may lose his ability due to the fact that the notebook that helps him activate his ability has been cut up. I've never been sure whether that was his whole ability or he can use any other paper or notebook, considering he's only ever been able to activate his ability through that book. Fukuzawa, the leader of the armed detective agency, who is still being held captive, and not sure if it looks like he may potentially die the way that the trailer is orchestrated, reveals that he knows exactly who the leader of the Decay Angels is. So it gives me the impression that we know who that is, or we may have seen them in the flashback that was lengthily conducted in Season 4. The last thing I'll mention is that Tachihara, who is acting as a double agent within Port Mafia for Hunting Dogs, which is a supernatural group that is run by the government hunting the armed detective agency, seems to be a key component or key player in Season 5 as hinted at the end of Season 4, as he may be vital in this whole operation of getting the armed detective agency cleared of this whole debauchery that's been happening since Season 4. With Season 4 focused on some very important storytelling for us to understand the whole context of the Decay Angels arc, it seems like Season 5 is definitely ready to give us more action and more twists and turns that we've all been waiting for and that we've all enjoyed while watching the series of Bungo Stray Dogs if you're already a viewer. Next on the list for returning anime is Bleach. Bleach is coming back with part 2, I believe, out of 4 for 1,000 Year Blood War. So one thing to note if you've been following the marketing for 1,000 Year Blood War is that 1,000 Year Blood War Part 2 is being called 1,000 Year Blood War The Separation, which is a strong indication about the separation between Ichigo and Uryu, as Uryu decides to join the side of the Quincy since he's a Quincy himself, and that's basically his people, that's his family, quote unquote. And it only makes sense, right? You would be by your family's side. No, Ichigo is your family. Ichigo is your people. He has been there for you through thick and thin, my guy, so that we'll go back to Ichigo's side. But nonetheless, it looks like that this part of 1,000 Year Blood War will be focusing a little bit more on the side of the Quincy and telling us what's going on their end and how they're preparing for round 2 against the Soul Society. It looks like Ichigo is still training if you've seen the trailers, and from what I kind of remember from the manga, we may not see Ichigo join the fight in part 2 or perhaps until the end, like similarly with part 1. And we'll likely be seeing more again about the Quincy's, who they are, getting to know them a little bit more, their objectives, how they're preparing for round 2, and watching round 2 actually happen. As you can see from the trailers, it looks like we have some rematchups or some new fights happening. It's gonna kind of blow all of you out the water. Oh, and perhaps we'll learn more about the Soul King? Question mark, question mark, question mark. If you've never seen Bleach before, I've got a few Bleach videos on my channel explaining Bleach and talking about Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War Part 1. So go ahead and check those out after this video. Number 1 on everyone's list this summer is Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. I actually don't know anyone that watches anime actively and is not looking forward to Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen is going to have 2 cores back to back, so approximately 22 to 24 episodes, and the first part, as lengthily illustrated by the promotion videos and the trailers, is going to be about Gojo and Geto and basically their time while they were at Jujutsu Kaisen high school or academy. So before they became the sorcerers that we've seen in Season 1. It'll help us understand what created the divide between Geto and Gojo, and it'll be important context for what part 2 may be or will be. They haven't explicitly said it, but I think everyone kind of already knows that it's gonna be like Gojo and Geto's like teenage friendship while in the academy, and then after that it's gonna be the Shibuya arc. If you watch season 1, they say that they're gonna plan to attack Gojo on Halloween in Shibuya, so they're gonna call him out and it's gonna be a whole fight. And if you've seen season 1 and you've seen the whole like Junpei incident, I'm sure all of y'all were upset about it just as much as I was. I kind of cried a little bit, but if that got you, season 2 is going to really hurt all of your feelings. Like, you won't come out of this unscathed. You're going to be permanently damaged from the effects of the Shibuya arc. And in addition to that, I'd like to thank Twitter and social media for fully destroying the anime for me with manga spoilers without disclaimers that there's a spoiler. You guys. Nonetheless, season 2 is going to be amazing. We're both going to really love it, and we're also never going to recover from it. Next on the list for anime this summer, but last on the list for returning anime, is Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. There's a chance that this may not be on your list, and I kind of discovered this by ways of a mutual Instagram person that I follow that kind of recommended it, and I just gave it a try. It's definitely one of my favorite isekai that I've seen to date, aside from Konosuba. And if you're going to Anime Expo, which is the first weekend of July 4th weekend, kinda, they're gonna be premiering the first episode of the latest season there. If you've seen season 1 of Jobless Reincarnation, you'll know that Rudeus, is it Rudeus? Rudeus? Yes, Rudeus. Rudeus is about to be reconnected with his childhood friend Sylviette. Yes, the names are really hard to remember sometimes, sorry. So they'll be reunited because Rudeus seems like he's going to be going to a school or a university of magic, and that's where Sylviette has been kind of all this time. So they're going to be reincarnated, and I don't know if this season is meant to be a way for him to continue to train on his magic while he looks for his mother, because his mother is still missing from this huge magical catastrophic event that essentially killed tons of people across the country or teleported them to some other area of the country where people have yet to be found, including his mom. The trailers seem a little bit unclear. It just shows a lot of wonderful fight scenes, which Jobless Reincarnation does a beautiful thing at, especially when it comes to an isekai. And dark elements and storylines is also another component that makes this anime so interesting and attractive. So if it's not on your list this summer, please add it. Go watch season 1 before season 2 drops. And while there's a lot of new anime that's also coming out this summer, I'm talking about brand new series, I think I've only got 3 for you guys. Number 1 is Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead. When I first saw the trailer for this, I was like, this feels really relatable, because I also hate working and I'd also like to escape my job. And I can relate with Tendo, who's the main character of the show, with the exception that his apartment is a whole mess. It's just like trash. When it seems like the world, or Japan, or wherever he lives, has been taken over by zombies and there's no need to go to work anymore, his simplistic and refreshing view on the fact that he can do whatever the he wants now because there's a zombie apocalypse was very attractive initially, because I was like, you know, that's very true. Way to look at the upside, Tendo. But then at the same time, it got me wondering, like, hold on a second. He's currently writing a bucket list for everything that he wants to do now that he doesn't have to go to work. But aren't there zombies outside, like, roaming around trying to constantly kill you? How are you going to effectively accomplish these things? Because I figure you have a bucket list. That means you gotta go out to do these things. So, like, how much can he really get accomplished? And if you've been watching my channel for a while now, you'll know that nothing attracts my attention more than an anime that speaks to adults like me and our endless problems of adulthood. And the next 2 / last 2 are kind of romances, more or less. Horimiya Missing Pieces, which is kind of like a sequel, but it's still new, is a follow-up to Horimiya, which came out in 2021, and they're kind of fleshing out the story more. When Horimiya first came out and it ended, it was only 13 episodes, and when it ended, they were like, okay, thank you for watching. And I was just like, hold on, is that really it? I haven't read the manga, but this feels a little short. So I don't know if fans complained or if it was always part of the plan for them to release more, but here we are with Horimiya Missing Pieces. They're going to fill in the gaps that they didn't include in the anime that was released in 2021. And they're going to also add some more components about some of the friendships and other relationships aside from Hori and Miyamura, who are the main characters of the show, and how their relationship grows. We're going to hopefully get to see these other relationships of these other side characters flourish, because we didn't get much of that. We got hints and pieces of it, which is what made Horimiya like really interesting. Not just seeing Hori and Miyamura's story, but also seeing how their relationships kind of helped catalyze relationships around them. And last but not least, and this comes ways of a friend who loves the light novel for this, and I have really good faith that this is going to be a good one, is My Happy Marriage. As you can tell by the title, this is a romance anime, so if you're looking for one, here you go. Horimiya is also one, so you got two now. And it's a story about a woman named Mio who is born into a loveless marriage. Her parents are either no longer together, or maybe someone's not alive anymore. I don't know the full scope of it, but her dad remarries somebody else, has another daughter, and this daughter is born with supernatural abilities. It seemed to be mentioned in the trailers constantly how Mio has no supernatural abilities, so therefore her family more or less treats her no better than a servant. Since they don't see any real value in her and they kind of see her as some sort of disgrace / shame of the family, they marry her off to this dude in a faraway land. He doesn't seem to come with good reviews. He seems to be called as cruel because his last fiance has fled into the night, and Mio is now engaged / to be married to this man, which is kind of considering she's already had a very devoid life of love. But as the title seems to indicate and foreshadow, as well as the trailer itself, Mio is actually in for a treat, as this man Kyoka seems to actually be really kind-hearted, and this quote-unquote loveless marriage, arranged marriage, may actually be love? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark? So yeah, it sounds like your run-of-the-mill romances. So I think if you're just looking for a romance, allow this to fill the void for you. But all right, that's gonna do it for me today. Thank you so much for joining, especially since it's been like a really long time since I've posted like a full-length video like this. I appreciate you all for tuning in as usual. Let me know if you liked this video by commenting, liking, subscribing, and sharing with other people. I'd greatly appreciate it. And again, thank you as always. I will catch you all next time. Bye.